Hello. Today I will present about the status quo of children on the global stage. First of all, I want to give a definition of parenting. Parenting is a process of promoting and supporting the physical, emotional, social, and intellectual development of a child from infancy to adulthood. Parenting refers to the aspects of raising a child aside from the biological relationship. The general pattern of behaviors that a parent uses to raise his or her children. There are different types of parenting. First one is authoritative. That means democratic and balanced behavior with high love and high limits. Relies on positive reinforcement and infrequent use of punishment. Parents are more aware of a child's feelings and capabilities and support the development of a child's autonomy within reasonable limits. Research shows that this style is most beneficial when parenting children. Most of the time, children are happy, self confident, curious, independent, likable, respectful of others, successful in school. Another type of parenting is authoritarian, with low love and high limits. Parents who practice this style parenting have a strict set of rules and expectations and require rigid obedience. If rules are not followed, punishment is the most often used to ensure obedience. There is usually no explanation of punishment, except that the child is in trouble and should listen accordingly. Children of authoritarian parents tend to be unhappy, anxious, low in self confidence, dependent on others, lacking in social skills and altruistic behaviors. Permissive style of parenting with high love and low limits. In these family settings, a child's freedom and their autonomy are valued and parents tend to rely mostly on reasoning and explanation. There tends to be little, if any, punishment or rules in this style of parenting, and children are said to be free from external constraints. Children of permissive parents tend to be selfish, unmotivated, dependent on others, demanding of attention, and impulsive. Uninvolved type of parenting is close to rejecting and neglecting with low love and low limits. An uninvolved parenting style is when parents are often emotionally absent and sometimes even physically absent. They are not responsive to a child's needs, do not demand anything of them in their behavioral expectations. Provide everything the child needs for survival with little to no engagement. Children of uninvolved parents tend to be demanding, low in self control, low in tolerance for frustration, and lacking long term goals. There are some principles of positive parenting. Promoting positive relationships, brief quality time talking to children, encouraging desirable behavior, praise positive attention, teaching new skills and behaviors, modeling incidental teaching, ask, say, do, managing misbehavior, and ground rules direct discussion, prompt ignoring clear, calm instructions, and logical consequences with quiet time and timeouts. Now we will talk about children on the global stage. Children born today have a better chance than at any time in history to grow up healthy, educated, and protected, with the opportunity to reach their full potential. There are some successful stories according to UNICEF. For instance, Bangladesh has achieved remarkable reductions in under 5 mortality following sustained investments in health. Mexico has greatly reduced the proportion of children involved in child labor by investing in education and poverty reduction. Colombia is making good gains to reduce violence against children through public investments in safety and programs for at-risk youth. Now you can see a table with end of child index rankings. What do the scores mean? End of childhood index scores for countries are calculated on a scale of 1 to 1000. The scores measure the extent to which children in each country experience childhood enders, such as death, severe malnutrition, being out of school, young age marriage, and motherhood. Uh, the End of Childhood Index compares the latest data for 176 countries, more than any other year, and assesses where the most and fewest children are missing out on childhood. According to the data, and as you can see in this table, Singapore tops the ranking with a score of 989. Eight Western countries and South Korea also rank in the top 10, attaining very high scores for children's health, education, and protection status. Central African Republic ranks last among countries surveyed, scoring 394. Here are 10 key factors that have contributed to global progress for children in recent decades. The MDG Agenda, launched in 2000, the Millennium Development Goals, galvanized a 15-year global campaign to end poverty in all its forms. This was the first ever global strategy with targets to be agreed upon by all United Nations member states. Government commitment, strong political leadership at the national level among heads of government and key policymakers has played a crucial role in helping millions more children survive and thrive. Social investment and economic growth. Economic growth on its own doesn't guarantee greater resources for social investment in children's programs, but a number of countries have used additional resources resulting from economic growth to create highly effective programs benefiting children. For example, Bangladesh, Brazil, Ethiopia, and Vietnam. Improved planning and implementation. Policy commitments are important, but they require detailed and coordinated programs to succeed. Reducing inequities. Progress in child well-being has often been greatest where there has been an explicit emphasis on directing resources to and improving the situation of the poorest and the most marginalized groups. Development assistance. Global aid declined in the 90s, but has doubled since 2000. Development assistance plays a key role in improving children's well-being, particularly in low-income countries. Empowering women and young girls. Advances in girls' education, greater participation in the labor market, and a stronger political voice all represent major advances for women since the year 2000. Women's leadership. Since 1995, when the Beijing Platform for Action was adopted, the proportion of women serving in parliaments around the world has more than doubled, growing from 11% that year to 24% in 2019. New technologies. Since 2000, the spread of mobile phones, computers, and the internet have transformed the way people live, work, and interact. Social media. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and other social media platforms have spread around the world with remarkable speed. This is the end of my presentation, and thank you very much for your attention. Goodbye.